Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be comparing a 2010 Infiniti M35X to my 2015 Lincoln MKZ hybrid. I'll be comparing the exterior design, interior materials quality and roominess, and the driving dynamics. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. You guys have showed tremendous support, so keep it going. Also, if you want to buy any headlight bulbs or any sort of car lights, check out Auxito LED lights. You can also use my promo code GMCLincoln to get 15% off any purchase from there. Let's move on with the video, shall we? This video is going to be about my opinion on these vehicles, and it should not scare anyone from buying these beautiful luxury cars. Starting off with the exterior design of the Infiniti, the tail lamps are very large and definitely unique to this vehicle. We got some quad exhaust tips which look nice and sporty and adds to the overall look of this vehicle. There's a lot of chrome accents on this car which I noticed, and I really like it. It really makes the car look very classy in my opinion. The M35 has 18-inch wheels wrapped in 245 width tires all around. The wide tires really help this large vehicle handle the corners with ease. The chrome continues on the pillars and the door handles as we move to the front of the vehicle. The front end has an aggressive look, though I do think it looks a lot like the G35 sedans from this era. Infiniti should have done a better job differentiating it from the G35 sedans in my opinion. Nonetheless, we got fog lamps and some large headlights which look really good. Looking at the side profile of the Infiniti, it's definitely bulky, which some people may not like, as cars these days are smoother and go for a sleek look. I really like the turn signal indicator on the belt line, which is a really nice touch. Overall, I think this is a very unique car. Definitely not for everyone, but it has a lot of character which cars these days lack. Moving on to the Lincoln. The Lincoln clearly goes for a different design language here. It's very sleek and sexy and not chunky like the Infiniti. The Lincoln has more of a sloped roofline which does cut headroom inside, but it looks fantastic from the outside. The Lincoln comes with 19-inch wheels, also wrapped in 245 width tires just like the Infiniti. I do like the multi-spoke look more than the Infiniti's wheels. The rear end is restrained and clean looking compared to the Infiniti in my opinion. There's a lot less chrome accents compared to the Infiniti, but I am a big fan of chrome, but on the Lincoln there's not too much of it, which is a good thing because too much chrome would have looked a little bit gaudy on this vehicle. Looking at the Lincoln from the side, you can see how sloped looking this vehicle is compared to the Infiniti. This one's got the panoramic sunroof, which is an awesome touch. The Infiniti has the standard size sunroof with no option of a panel roof. Moving to the front of the vehicle, the grille is definitely unique because it looks like a mustache. The Infiniti's front end kind of blends in with other vehicles on the road, but I think the Lincoln stands apart from the crowd. Just like the rear end, the front also goes for a restrained look, which I personally like. There are no fog lights on the Lincoln unfortunately, but this model does come standard with LED headlights. The Infiniti measures 192.6 inches in length and 59.5 inches in height, whereas the Lincoln is slightly longer at 194.1 inches and slightly shorter in height at 58.2 inches. Opening the driver's door, I'm just amazed with the craftsmanship and use of materials on this door panel and the whole interior itself. This is real rosewood trim finished in a semi-gloss. Lots of soft touch materials on the door panel, especially where you rest your elbow when cruising on the highway. I really like the middle section on this door panel, especially the rippled look in the leather. It's very soft to the touch, but I'm not sure if it's real leather. I like the chrome detail on this door handle. It really gives it a premium feel. These front seats are very large and got really thick bolsters. A larger adult would fit comfortably in this interior with no issues. The seats are 10-way power adjustable on both driver and passenger side, and also they're heated and cooled. As you can tell, the seat is very worn out due to lack of maintenance, but nonetheless, they are very comfortable and have a lot of cushioning to it. This vehicle's got 250,000 kilometers on it currently. Hopping inside, the door sounds nice and solid when you open and close it. I'm just in love with this interior. The layout and design is beautiful, and you actually have physical buttons and knobs, which I really appreciate. The analog clock looks very nice, and just the fit and finish in this interior is just impeccable for a 12-year-old vehicle. I do find the seats up front a little bit firm for my liking, but it's still very comfortable than most newer vehicles these days. This M35X is a 2010 model, but the design has been around since 2005. For 2011 is when Infiniti came out with a new generation of M cars. The interior has held up very well and aged like fine wine in my opinion. Moving into the back seat, the same great materials up front carry to the back, especially on these wonderful door panels. We got the same rosewood trim and the other soft touch materials. I really like the ashtray. It looks great and it feels great to open as well. One thing I noticed on the back door is that there's a footlight which helps you get in and out of the vehicle in dark. Just really good attention to detail here. The seats are very comfortable in the back, not too firm like up front. There's just a crap ton of legroom and headroom in here. It really feels great, honestly. This feels like a real luxury sedan. You got individual map lights back here and grab handles. The seat backs are covered in nice soft leather, and they have nice deep pockets as well on both sides. You do have air vents back here, but they only operate when the HVAC system up front is working. Folding the middle seat back down, there's two cup holders and some decent storage in here. To my surprise, there's a lockable ski pass-through in this Infiniti, which again goes back to the amazing attention to detail. I've never seen a lockable ski pass-through before, but Infiniti went out of their way to give us one on this M35. Overall, this interior just rocks. I could honestly just sleep back here. The materials are excellent and the fit and finish is great. Lots of room as well, especially if you want to use this car as a kid hauler. Opening the driver's door of the Lincoln MKZ, it's honestly such a disappointment compared to the Infiniti. Lots of hard touch plastics on the door panels. The door panel is just plain looking compared to the Infiniti. Lincoln did use real wood trim in this interior, which does make it feel a little bit premium. Where the Lincoln shines is seat comfort. It's not stiff like the Infiniti seat up front. The seats are 10-way power adjustable on both seats up front, just like the Infinitis. These seats are heated and cooled as well, just like the Infiniti, but Lincoln goes a bit further by adding massaged seats up front for those long highway drives. The seats on the Infiniti is much wider compared to the seats on the Lincoln. However, the seats in the Lincoln really hugs you in place, which I really like. Sitting inside this cabin, it feels very tight compared to the Infiniti. Some may like that feeling, some may not, but I can tell you one thing, there's not that much room in here compared to the Infiniti. It definitely feels more cocooned in here. The door sounds nice when opening and closing. The interior is the complete opposite to the Infiniti. The infotainment is all touch capacitive, so there's no real buttons or knobs for basic controls such as HVAC. I do like the design of this interior though. It's very smooth flowing and restrained, just like the exterior of this vehicle. Quality wise, there's just no comparison. The Infiniti just blows this out of the water. I'm just a bit old school. I like quality materials and craftsmanship over technology in cars. The Lincoln no doubt has the technology, but the build quality and use of quality materials is just not there. It's sad to say this because the Infiniti is a 12-year-old car, but it's a 15-year-old design, yet the quality of the Infiniti is superior to the 7-year-old Lincoln. Moving to the back seat of the Lincoln MKZ, the door panels are still the same hard plastics and whatnot. Real wood though, so I really appreciate that. One thing I like to note here is that the door panels on the Lincoln, I should say all door panels on the Lincoln, there's good storage. So you can put water bottles and other items in here, but you can't do that in the Infiniti. Also, we got 2-stage heated seats back here, which are not found on the Infiniti. It's definitely tight back here, but it's not unbearable. There's decent legroom and headroom for a 5'10" adult like me. The seats, however, are firm compared to the Infiniti back here. All 4 windows are automatic up and down just like the Infiniti, but unlike the Infiniti, there is a 110 volt outlet in the back here, which can be useful to plug, let's say, a laptop charger or something like that. The back seats are a mix of pleather and some soft touch rubbery material. There are pouches back here for storage, but they're not as large as the seat back pouches on the Infiniti. Other than that, there's a ski pass-through, but it's not lockable, and the seats can fold down 60-40. On the Infiniti, you cannot fold the seats down, unfortunately. You just have the ski pass-through. Here's a quick clip of the glove box in the Infiniti. As you can see, there's a button for the valet service, but overall it's quite a large box, I'd say. Here's a quick look at the Lincolns. It's definitely much smaller, but you do have a shelf system, so you can really organize your items in here. With the push of a button above the license plate, you can open the trunk. It's a very wide and tall trunk opening, which can be very handy to load larger items. The trunk itself is huge. Large car, large trunk, just the way I like it. There's no power open and close on this Infiniti. On the Lincoln, same thing, you can open the trunk with the push of a button above the license plate. It is power open and close, which is a nice luxurious touch. But as you can see, the trunk is nowhere as big as the Infiniti, mainly because this has the hybrid battery in the back. The opening is not as wide or tall, and from personal experience, I was never able to fit a cooler back here. The Infiniti has a 3.5 liter V6 engine producing 303 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, which is paired to a 5-speed automatic transmission. There was a available 4.5 liter V8 which produced 325 horsepower and a good 336 pound-feet of torque. The hood is held up by 2 struts, and Infiniti went some ways to really cover up this engine bay. Looks very elegant and clean. Lexus does the same thing with their engine bays as well. These cars came with rear active steer as an option on sport trims, which was a rare feature for its time. They also started off as rear-wheel drive cars, but had the option to include all-wheel drive. This Lincoln MKZ comes with a 2-liter Atkinson cycle engine paired with a 1.4 kilowatt-hour battery and an electric motor. The system puts out a whopping 188 horsepower and a stump pulling 129 pound-feet of torque. The hood on the Lincoln is also held up by a strut, which is nice, but it's only one strut, unlike the 2 struts found in the Infiniti. The 12-volt batteries in the trunk of the vehicle, which is nice because it helps with weight distribution and also frees up with space. Driving the Infiniti, I'm immediately impressed on how smooth this engine is, especially since it has over 250,000 kilometers on it. There's no engine vibration on idle, and the power delivery is just so smooth. The car feels very well planted, and the old school hydraulic power steering feels excellent, very natural and smooth. The steering is not that precise, however, but is smooth in luxury car fashion. I drove this car on the highway, and I do have to say the ride is a bit on the firmer side, but it's not unbearable by no stretch of the imagination. I really like how there is actually a gear shifter in the center here. It's much better than the push button gear selectors these days. The shifts are smooth, there's no creaks or rattles in this car even on the highway speeds, which shows you how well these cars were crafted back in the day. The Infiniti is rated at 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway. This car has a 20-gallon fuel tank, and premium gas is recommended but not required. But if you opt for the V8, then premium is required. Driving the Lincoln MKZ, the first thing I notice is the ride quality difference. The Lincoln is definitely smoother over bumps thanks to its electronic suspension. The steering is also more precise than the M35. However, you can tell that this car has electric steering because it just doesn't feel natural and smooth like the Infiniti's hydraulic steering. Another thing I noticed is that the hybrid engine is just not refined at all. There's just so much engine vibration coming into the cabin, along with other creaks and rattles from the interior panels. The MKZ is just not built as well as the Infiniti. Visibility is not the best when compared to the Infiniti due to the slope and design of this car. Where the Lincoln really shines is fuel economy, getting nearly 41 mpg in the city on its 15-gallon fuel tank. The Infiniti never came with the hybrid until 2012, but got nowhere near the numbers the MKZ gets. Moving on to the final thoughts, both vehicles are amazing luxury sedans. But in complete honesty, I prefer the Infiniti M35 over my Lincoln. If gas prices weren't so high, the Infiniti would have been in my driveway. I feel like the Lincoln misses the mark on luxury. Everything in the MKZ feels cheap and not well put together. I just can't believe a car that was designed in the mid-2000s can keep up with the modern Lincoln. Gone are the days when build quality and materials were sought after. Now it's all about tech, and people don't seem to really care about anything else. The M35 is definitely an underrated car, just like the Lincoln MKZ, but it deserves much more attention. You can pick up an M35 for under $10,000 Canadian. I definitely would if gas prices weren't too crazy. The Lincoln obviously has the modern day look and all the nice tech into it, but it's just missing that character in my opinion. I still love my Lincoln. It's been my daily driver for the past 3 years with no major issues. And if you want to learn more about my Lincoln experience, check out my channel and subscribe to it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you all next time.